The termination of Captain Ibrahim Traore is imminent. Things are really getting serious since nothing like what is happening now has ever happened in Africa. It was unimaginable that an African leader would rebel against the Western countries, weakening their influence and forcing them to leave. The president of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore, recently announced an open battle with the Western powers. To put another way, his agreements and actions directly jeopardize Western powers. These actions serve as a sort of threshold for the West. Furthermore, any African leader who defies them will either be replaced or killed. But because Ibrahim Traore accomplished something unexpected for the West, the plots and murderous schemes fell through. What specifically did Ibrahim Traore do? Let's find out more about that in this video. The Western elites did not want African leaders to cross the boundary, and Ibrahim Traore was the first to do so. He then assumed control of it, which infuriated the West. His approach is excellent. Burkina Faso's military leader, Captain Ibrahim Traore, who took office in 2022, has profoundly altered the country's relations with the West, particularly France, both in words and actions. Before his arrival, Burkina Faso, like many other former French colonies, wrestled with the complex legacy of colonialism. Many believed that France still had a neo-colonial influence, meddling in internal affairs and obstructing the country's development. This sentiment inspired Traore to declare Burkina Faso's independence and sever ties with France. In addition, Traore and many Burkina Faso people believed that Western-backed solutions to issues like poverty and terrorism had failed. This frustration with Western interventionism fueled a desire for other approaches, including as closer ties with non-Western countries like Russia. A growing sense of Pan-Africanism across the continent also fueled Traore's grandiose goals, which emphasized African unity and independence while resisting outside meddling. However, Traore knew that before he could remove France, he had to bring all the soldiers together. That's because exposing and rejecting something that had infiltrated the nation's fundamental tenets required a great deal of strength. Then he started a secret operation. He started evicting French officials without warning, and the foreign governments had no idea what he intended to do next. He wanted to get rid of the interested glances first. The more knowledgeable they are, the less likely they are to sabotage. He expelled the French ambassador and suspended cooperation and long-standing ties with France as part of his power show. He then forbade the French media from spreading propaganda in the sake of journalism. He then started openly denouncing Western countries for their interference in Burkina Faso. We also saw a dramatic shift in Burkina Faso's foreign policy toward Russia under Captain Ibrahim Traore's leadership, which reflected the strategic concerns of both parties as well as historical grievances and contemporary political realities. Both opportunities and problems for the future of the nation and the larger region are presented by this shift, which is being driven by a deep-seated mistrust of Western powers and the need for alternative partnerships. You should be aware that colonialism and neo-colonial activities are the source of Burkina Faso's problems with the West. French interventions in regional disputes, which are usually seen as ineffective and detrimental to local interests, have made the hunt for new allies more difficult. For Russia, which is eager to expand its influence and challenge Western hegemony in Africa, this mindset has made things easier. Western countries consequently started the Wagner Group's activities in Africa and spread inaccurate reports that the group was carrying out murders. Why were Western countries placing soldiers in African countries, if such were the case? This illustrated the West's hypocrisy. Burkina Faso, on the other hand, is seen by Russia as a helpful ally in its quest for greater worldwide influence and as a counterbalance to Western hegemony. The country's favorable location and abundance of natural resources make it a valued ally. By offering military and financial assistance, Russia hopes to expand its influence in the region and emerge as a significant player in African affairs. There are various ways in which Russia and Burkina Faso are connected.